Hello and Jai Swaminarayan to all. Today for standard 10th science in physics portion we are going to start a new chapter which is chapter 12 electricity. The topics that we are going to cover are first one is 12.1 electric current and circuit, second is 12.2 electric potential and potential difference, and third one is 12.3 circuit diagram. So let us start with our first topic which is electric current and circuit. You are familiar with air current and water current. We know that the flowing water constitutes water current in the river, and similarly like that water current, if electric charge flows through a conductor, we say that there is an electric current inside that conductor. Conductor should be taken as through a metallic wire. In a torch, we know that the cells or battery which is placed in proper order inside that torch provide flow of charges or an electric current through the torch due to which the bulb in the torch glows. We have also seen that the torch gives light only when its switch is on. When switch is off, it does not give us light. What does a switch do? The question arises. The answer for that question is a switch makes a conducting link between the cell and the bulb. Means this switch of the torch will make a link between the cell that is present in the torch and also the bulb. So it is a link between the cell and the bulb of the torch. And a continuous and closed path of electric current is called electric circuit. Electric current question arises that how it is expressed. So electric current is expressed by the amount of charge that is flowing through a particular area in unit time, or in other words we can say that it is a rate of flow of electric charges. Means electric current is a rate of flow of the electric charges inside any area in unit time. In circuits using metallic wires, electrons constitute the flow of charges. However, electrons were not known at the time when phenomena of electricity was first observed. Means in metallic wire the electrons are used to constitute the flow of charges. But when the phenomena of electricity was observed for the first time, at that time electrons were not known. Means it was not known then what these electrons are. So electric current was considered to be the flow of positive charges, and the direction of flow of positive charges was taken to be the direction of electric current. Means due to this electrons were not known during the observation of this electricity, electric current was considered to be flow of the positive charges. Why? Because electrons were not known at that time and electrons have negative charges. So as electrons were not known, the electric current was considered to be flow of positive charges, and direction of flow of positive charges means the direction in which this positive charge flows was taken to be the direction of electric current. And conventionally in an electric circuit, the direction of electric current is taken as opposite to the direction of flow of electrons, as electrons were negative charges. If a net charge, say Q, flows across any cross section of a conductor in a time t, then the current I through the cross section is I is equals to Q divided by T. Means the current I will be equal to Q, which is our net charge, divided by time t, and that flows any cross section of a conductor. This is I is equals to Q by T is our equation 12.1. The SI unit for electric charge is coulomb, or we can also mention it as capital C, and it is equivalent to the charge that is contained in nearly 6 into 10 raised to 18 electrons. And we also know that an electron possesses a negative charge of 1.6 multiplied 10 raised to minus 19 coulomb. The electric charge SI unit is coulomb C, and the electric current is expressed by the unit called ampere, which is also abbreviated as capital A. That ampere is named after the French scientist André Marie Ampere. 1 ampere is constituted by flow of 1 coulomb per second. Means in order to constitute 1 ampere, it will be equal to 1 coulomb per second. And the small quantities of the current are expressed in milliampere or microampere. The value for 1 milliampere is equals to 10 raised to minus 3 ampere, and the value for 1 microampere is equals to 10 raised to minus 6 ampere. and an instrument called ammeter is used to measure electric current in any particular circuit. And in order to measure that electric current in the circuit, the ammeter is always connected in series in that particular circuit through which the current is to be measured. Here you can see figure 12.1, which shows the schematic diagram of typical electric circuit comprising of a cell, an electric bulb, an ammeter and a plug key. In figure, the K represents the plug key, A represents our ammeter, there is a bulb on the top and also a cell. So this is a schematic diagram of any particular circuit in which the ammeter is used to measure the current. Now we will see an example, our example 20.1, according to which a current of 0.5 ampere is drawn by a filament of an electric bulb for 10 minutes. Find the amount of electric charge that flows through the circuit. We have given the value of current as 0.5 ampere and time is given as 10 minutes, which is called 600 seconds. Now from equation 12.1, which is our equation for electric charge, which was I is equals to Q by T. Now in this question we have given the value of I and T, but we have to find the value of Q. So we have I is equals to Q by T. Then if we want to find the value of Q, we have to take the T which is in denominator to left hand side, and when we take T on the left hand side, it will go in multiplication with our current I. So we'll have I into T equals to Q, or we can say Q is equals to I into T. So this we found equation to find out our net charge. So Q is equals to I by T, which is I multiply T, which is equals to 0.5 ampere multiply 600 seconds. And this will give us answer as 300 coulomb. So the value of our electric charge that flows through this circuit is 300 coulomb. So this is our solution for example 12.1. Now we will move to our next topic, which is 12.2, electric potential and potential difference. First, there is a question that what makes the electric charges to flow. In order to understand this, let us consider an analogy of a flowing water. We know that charges do not flow in a copper wire by themselves. Just like water cannot flow perfectly in a horizontal or a flat tube. If one end of the tube is connected to a water tank which is kept at a higher level such that there is a pressure difference between the two ends of this tube, the water flow out of one end of the tube, other end of the tube. For flow of charges in a conducting metallic wire, the gravity of course does not play any role. The electron move only if there is a difference of electric pressure. Means if there is difference in electric pressure, the electron will move. It is called the potential difference along the conductor. And this difference of potential may be produced by a battery which is consisting of one or more electric cells. The chemical action within a cell generates potential difference. Means there is a chemical action within this electric cell which will generate the potential difference across the terminal of these cells even when there is no current drawn from it. And when this cell is connected to a conducting circuit element, the potential difference will set the charges in motion. Means these charges will be flowing due to the potential difference in that conductor and produce the electric current. Means when the charges move, electric current is produced, and these charges moves due to the potential difference. In order to maintain the current in that particular electric circuit, the cell has to expend its chemical energy that is stored inside it. This chemical energy was the energy in the cell which generates the potential difference. So in order to maintain the current in the electric circuit, the cell will expend its chemical energy that is stored inside that cell or terminals of the cell. Now we'll define potential difference. We define the electric potential difference between 2 points in an electric circuit carrying some current as the work done to move a unit charge from one point to other, as potential difference V between the 2 points will be equal to work done per charge. Means the definition of the potential difference between 2 points in an electric circuit is work done per unit charge. We say V is equals to work done W divided by our charge Q, which is our equation 12.2. Also, the SI unit of electric potential difference is volt V, capital V, named after Alessandro Volta, an Italian physicist. 1 volt is potential difference between 2 points in a current carrying conductor when 1 joule of work is done to move a charge of 1 coulomb from one point to another. Means 1 volt will be equal to 1 joule of work done divided by 1 coulomb of our electric charge, which is our equation 12.3. We can also say 1V is equals to 1J, which is used for J is used for joule, into C with C raised to minus 1, which is our value of coulomb. So 1V is equals to 1 joule into coulomb. In inverse, why we use inverse of coulomb? Because 1 joule is divided by 1 coulomb, and when we multiply C with J, it will be inverse. The value of coulomb will be inverse. So we say 1V is equals to 1J into C inverse. The potential difference is measured by means of an instrument which is called voltmeter. Means voltmeter is an instrument that is used to measure the potential difference in the circuit. The voltmeter is always connected in parallel across the points between which the potential difference is to be measured. Means this voltmeter will be placed in a parallel format across 2 points between which we want to calculate or measure our potential difference. Now we will look at an example 12.2, according to which how much work is done in a moving charge of 2 coulomb across 2 points having potential difference 12 volt. Here in the question we have to find the work done in a moving charge of 12 coulomb. The value of charge is given as not 12 coulomb, 2 coulomb. Here the value of charge is given as 2 coulomb, and across 2 points they have potential difference as 12 volt. So here we have given value of our potential difference and the coulomb. So the amount of charge Q that flows between 2 point potential difference V is equals to 12 V in 2 coulomb. Thus the amount of work done in moving charges from equation 12.2 is W is equals to V into Q. How we get this? Memorize the equation 12.2, which was V is equals to W by Q, means volt is equals to work done divided by coulomb. Now in order to find the work done, we will take the Q which is in denominator to the left hand side, and when we take the Q in denominator in left hand side, it will go in multiplication with our volt. So we will get the value of work done equals to volt into a coulomb. So W is equals to V by Q. Using this formula, we are going to find our work done. The value of volt is given as 12V and the value of coulomb is given as 2C. So W will be equal to 12V into 2C, which will be equal to 24J. J is the is for joule, mean work done is calculated in terms of joules. So the work done in this case is 24 joules. This is our answer for example 12.2. Now we will move to our next topic, which is circuit diagram. We know that an electric circuit which was shown in figure 12.1, it comprises of a cell or a battery, a plug key and some electric components and the connecting wires. It is often convenient to draw a schematic diagram in which different components of circuit are represented by symbols conveniently used. Means it will be convenient to draw a diagram of electric circuit in which each and every component is mentioned with particular symbol. So it will be convenient for us to understand. Conventional symbol used to represent some of the most commonly used electric components are given in the table 12.1, which I am going to show you. In this table, there are given the symbols of some commonly used components in a circuit diagram. Means when you prepare any type of circuit diagram, the components that are mentioned in this table are used very commonly in each circuit diagram. So let me go through this table. First one is an electric cell. The symbol for electric cell is shown like this, where there is a positive side and a negative side. Second one is a battery or combination of cells. Here The symbol is for a battery or the combination of one or two or more cells. They also have a positive side and a negative side. So this is a symbol for a battery or combination of cell. Third one is a plug key or a switch which is open. This is the symbol for a plug key or a switch which is on or open. And in fourth diagram, it is given the same symbol of a plug key or switch, but it is when it is closed. You can see a dot inside this symbol which represents that the plug key or switch is closed. Fifth one is a wire joint. When we joint wires, this will be the symbol that is used. This symbol is for wire joint. Sixth is a wire crossing without joining. The symbol shown here is when two wires cross each other but without joining. So this was the symbol for wire cross without joining. Next symbol number 7 is electric bulb. Here there are two symbols. We can use any of them for mentioning an electric bulb in the circuit. Both will be a valid symbol. In 8, there is a resistors of resistance R. This is the symbol for a resistor having resistance R. Ninth one is the variable resistance or rheostat. The symbol shown here is used for variable resistance or rheostat. There are two symbols and you can use any of one symbol. Both will be valid. 10th one is ammeter. You can see, you have also seen this symbol in our circuit diagram 12.1 where ammeter was placed in the circuit having the symbol A inside the circle, and it also have positive and negative both sides. So this is the symbol for ammeter. And the 11th one is the symbol for voltmeter, which is same as ammeter, but instead of A, ammeter, voltmeter is placed and it's abbreviated by V. So this is the symbol for voltmeter. It has also positive and negative both sides. So these are the commonly used symbols that you can use in a commonly used components that you can use in a circuit diagram when you are creating one. So that is it for now. We discussed 3 topics in chapter 12, which were 12.1 electric current and circuit, 12.2 electric potential and potential difference, and 12.3 circuit diagram. The remaining topics we will discuss in our next session. Thank you.